Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm obviously filming in the same day because I actually wanted to do a video, very interesting, very different, but I have always had like a love-hate relationship with a septum piercing. Like, I remember way back when I was growing up, septum piercings were like, only people that really had a septum piercing were people who were like gothic or grungy and all that stuff. And now when you sit and you look at like the world that we live in, everybody seems to have a septum piercing, whether you're I don't even know if there's genres anymore. Is there genres anymore? I don't know. Let me know down below. But like back in the day, you had genres. Like you had your preps, you had your goths, you had your grunge, you had your normal people, you had your country people. Let me know if that still goes on. I don't know. I'm 32. I don't know what goes on anymore. I'm just trying to get with times, you guys. Okay? Okay. So I have always had, like, back in the day I was like, and another thing was, if you had a septum piercing back in the day, people would say like, oh my god, you look like a bull, because bulls only have like septum piercings and stuff and all that jazz. And I was like, so back in the day it was like I was flattered by a septum piercing, but then I hated a septum piercing because I didn't want people to look at me like I was weird, or I was goth, or I was grunge, or I was a bull. So since we live in a different time frame nowadays, a lot of people have septum piercings. So if you guys are wondering, no, I do not have my septum pierced at all. If you guys follow me religiously, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of times I swap out my nose jewelry. And it's because, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with the septum piercing. That's why I would never spend the money to get one. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, maybe like that. I don't know. I could just be that weirdo out there that's like that. But I have always like just wanted to know if, and you could do this too if you are somebody who wants a septum piercing and you don't even know if you would look good with a septum piercing. I'm here to cover you, girl. I'm here to cover you. Alright, so obviously I have my double nostril piercings. Those are real, obviously. But my septum piercing is not. And there you go. That's how you know my septum piercing is fake as fuck. I'm a poser. You can call me whatever you want to call me. But yeah, if you guys want to know how I got the septum piercing and how I made it look natural as possible, because you guys, let's clean the boogers off, as natural as possible and as real as possible, then keep on watching. So what you're gonna want, or what you're gonna need, is an old body modification ring if you do have one. If you don't, you can always buy these at either Hot Topic, Spencer's, Claire's, but I wouldn't really recommend Claire's body jewelry. Pretty much I would say like go to a piercing shop, Hot Topics definitely, and Spencer's. And you're going to need these because we're actually going to really pierce your septum. I'm just joking. I have a sick sense of humor. So yeah. So you're going to need these, and you're going to need one of these. So all you're going to do, this is simple as hell, you guys. Like, I'm that broke bitch that like has that style but is in reality broke, and nobody would know the difference. So all you're going to do is, you definitely want to try to keep it as oval as possible, or as circular, I don't know, as possible. And then all you're going to do is just take your pliers and gently, because you guys, I remember one time I was trying to, I wanted like a full hoop that closed, and I don't even know, like, I didn't have the right spar or anything to that nature. So what I decided to do was take some pliers and actually hope for the best, and it didn't. Outcome did not happen very well. I ended up busting my lip and it swelled, and I was going out to a water park that day and I had a freaking fat lip. Looked like somebody socked me. So what you're going to want to do is obviously, I hope you guys can see, keep testing your nose. Now, one thing I do want to throw out there, you guys, is I have a sensitive nose right here in this area. So obviously that's not going to stay. So if I start sneezing, I apologize. So you want to just keep working with it. Keep working at it until it gets to your right texture of your nose, because we'll get to that step in a minute. This is just a sample one, so I'm not really going to... So I'm not going to put that one in my nose because it just fell and hit the floor. But what I'm going to do is pretty much at this point, I want to show you guys, it would pretty much be at the point of where I believe it would hook on to the bone part of... You guys are probably like, girl, hooking up onto the bone. No, what I'm talking about is this part right here might get disgusting to some people, but what you're going to want to do is take your fingers, and if you feel the hard part of your nose with that ring, then you have hit gold mine, girl, okay? So what you're going to want to do is take your fake septum piercing. Hi, I'm a poser. And what you're going to want to do is take it, and you're going to want to go in at one side and then go, here we go. This part I always find to be painful and it makes me sneeze. Alright, so once you... If this does this to me now, I can only imagine what it would do to me if I actually got it pierced. So once you find that it clamps, like, it doesn't really clamp to your bone. I don't know how to explain it, but it like clamps to this piece of skin. And then what you're going to want to do is take it and then pull to see if you're actually going to rip it right out of your nose, or if it actually has some give to you. If it actually pulls, then that means you have got it onto the right part of your nose and you know it ain't gonna go anywhere. And then, you guys, I like to keep my septum piercing as nice, and like, I don't want a septum piercing hanging way down here. If that's your preference, do whatever your preference is, but for faking it, more than likely it's gonna look more natural and clean. And that's pretty much all there is to it, you guys, is just make sure, we'll recap a little bit, is make sure you have some pliers, and then make sure you have an old body modification jewelry that you don't really care about, and you don't care if you destroy it or anything to that nature. And you guys are probably looking at it like, that doesn't still look like it's oval, but once it gets into your nose, it will still look oval. And yeah, and then pretty much all you gotta do is make sure, like I said, you guys, is if you feel around in your nose, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, there's like this piece of skin right here. You don't want it to like go over your nose. Like, you don't want to put it in and it just falls right out. There's like skin right here, and it would like pretty much clamp to that area. And you're totally fine. You could walk around. You could sleep with it on, because I sleep with mine on until I hate it, and then it comes out. And then I change my nose jewelry around again. So yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there, because I know there's people out there who probably want a septum piercing but don't know if they would look right with a septum piercing. So there you go. I just gave you a little tip and trick for that. Or there might be people out there who is the same thing as me, have a love-hate relationship for a septum piercing. You like it, but you really don't, so you don't really know like what to do. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big huge thumbs up. And as always, I upload every 3 days to working purposes. And I'll see you soon in my next video. You're beautiful. Stay true to yourself. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. See you guys. Hi, we're back. Well, this video is definitely gonna have bloopers at the end because my fake septum piercing is not cooperating with me.